ZZ109FM, hottest radio station on the planet. This is Elsie Jenkins here. Hopefully you're having a good September 2025 and you're moving towards 2026 without any issues. It's good to be alive on this planet. I like to do my talk radio show about issues and concerns that help everyone on the planet. But this is a special show we're working with today, a very special show. And I hope it gives everyone knowledge, not just the ladies, but gentlemen, the same knowledge needed. We are the worst when it comes to reading and gathering information when it's time to do that. We like to learn after the fact. And that's our problem on the planet. We should have knowledge before we get involved in situations to help us resolve situations, not the other way around. So the area of focus today is going to be on the hysterectomy, because it's important to understand how that can affect a woman and a man. So hysterectomy is a process that doctors like to use in regards to heavy bleeding, fibroids, and so forth. But the problem with that is there's other ways to tackle heavy bleeding. You don't have to rip out someone's fallopian tubes and uterus and ovaries to resolve a bleeding issue. No, that's just a quick fix. And if you do the math on it, it's an easy $6,000 to $11,000 towards a doctor's pocket every hysterectomy he does or she does. Don't get it twisted. These women are involved in this too. And I think it's criminal for a doctor to sit there and not tell you about the other options that are out there besides pulling out your reproductive organs. It don't make no damn sense. But when you're young, walking in a doctor's office and complaining about bleeding, you are a sucker waiting for the doctor's prescription to resolve your bleeding issue. But $6,000 to $11,000 for a 30 to an hour procedure, that's a lot of damn money. And if you did 10 hysterectomies a month, well, you're making a lot of damn money. All right. There's a lot of different types of hysterectomies. You can get a partial hysterectomy where they only take out certain things, or a full hysterectomy where they take out everything. And the results vary as to what happens to you. But see, that's the point where the criminal mindset comes in, if you ask me. Because any doctor that sits there and tells you that your life is going to be better after her hysterectomy is a criminal. Because there's no way in hell your life is going to be better after a hysterectomy. And that's why we're doing this show. Because if you have to get a hysterectomy for whatever reason, and it's an emergency situation, then you have no choice but to make a damn decision. But if you are getting a hysterectomy for some X, Y, and Z reason to make you so-called comfortable because you're tired of bleeding, you done lost your damn mind, because you have no knowledge of what's to come. So this show is going to explain what's to come if you decide to have a hysterectomy. So let's get into the get into. Now, right now, I'm the only one in the studio here at this station because Bob and Nealy Nixon said they don't know nothing about hysterectomies. So I said, well, it's time for y'all to learn because everyone needs to be knowledgeable of what goes on during a hysterectomy. Could be your mom getting a hysterectomy. You need to understand why. Why are you getting one? If your mom's in her 40s, 50s, or 60s, there's reasons to have a hysterectomy. I get it. But to get a hysterectomy at 40, 30, and even less younger than that, red flag. What are we doing? What are we trying to avoid? And is this an emergency situation? Because you're going to thrust yourself into menopause early if you choose to have a hysterectomy. So that's one thing you have to be aware of before you even get involved in this choice. Now, menopause doesn't sound threatening, but it is. Because your mindset changes, your body changes, a lot of things change. When I say mindset, I mean your psychological. The reproductive system of a woman affects her psychological being, her mental. And if you look at a young woman with a young reproductive system, you can see a vibrant and bright woman. But if you look at a 50-year-old or older woman that is going into menopause, a lot of times that vibrancy reduces. Doesn't mean that you still can't be a flourishing woman on the planet, but if you stand next to one of these young women, you are no comparison when it comes to the energy coming from the reproductive system of a young woman. It's a fact. So, let's look at this with a common sense perspective. If you're a young woman looking at getting a hysterectomy, you're going to throw yourself in a whirlwind that you may not psychologically be ready to deal with. They don't prepare you for this during this process. Now, I know of someone in their 30s that got a hysterectomy, and it threw them in a whirlwind, and the mindset of that person was changed. Now, we want to make sure you're aware of these things before you make these kind of decisions, because if you're just doing it because you're tired of worrying about bleeding, that is no reason to get a hysterectomy. You can change your menu of eating. You can also look on the planet. The planet has herbs that assist you when it comes to bleeding. This puts me back to square one. We don't read. We don't have knowledge of what is right here on the planet to assist us. First of all, you have shepherd's purse. Shepherd's purse, like a purse that you would take with you to put your stuff in. P-U-R-S-E. This herb has a long history of traditional use for controlling excess bleeding. Now, do your homework on these herbs, because when you do your homework, you can determine which herbs are working for your particular situation. But do you need to go get a hysterectomy when things outside of the medical community exist to help you? The next thing is yarrow, Yarrow, known for its hemostatic properties. It has been used since ancient times to help stop bleeding from wounds and extends the menstrual to extend to the menstrual flow. Some of these things are teas, but from the planet, from the earth, Mother Earth, these things exist. Something I didn't know about was cinnamon. Uh, Cinnamon is everywhere. Cinnamon is used to restore the uterine tone and slow blood loss. Taking cinnamon capsules the first 3 days of your menstrual cycle can reduce menstrual bleeding and pain. Now you see, God created these things for us to help us. And when you don't pick up the knowledgeable information on the planet and absorb it and have that knowledge, you're basically a zombie on the planet. You're not connected to God, and you're not connected to God's earth and the things that are here to help us. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the herbs that actually take care of our bodies for us. Let's keep moving. You've got red raspberry leaf, a classic uterine tone. Red raspberry leaf is believed to help tone the uterine muscle and support overall menstrual health. It's a tea. It's amazing how much tea is out here on the planet that has so many different properties to assist you. It's amazing. There's not just one tea. There's thousands of tea on the planet. The next area is cramp bark. Listen to the name of this, cramp bark. Lord have mercy. If you can't figure it out, maybe you do need to go somewhere and get chopped up, okay, and then live a miserable life after that. Because this don't make no damn sense. You got some cramp bark right here to help you with them damn cramps. As it is suggested, this herb is well known for relaxing uterine muscle spasms, which can help with menstrual cramps. Now, I notice today the younger youth in their, and I'm going to tell you now, your periods can start at 11, 12, 13. But because of all of the processed junk and crap that they're eating, they're not eating healthy foods. They're having very, very painful menstrual cycles. Now, parents that ain't got time to deal with their young children aren't taking note of this information that I'm putting out here. This is what is needed to relieve these young ladies, okay, to be with their pains that they're dealing with during these times in their life. It's ridiculous. People have more energy to go get weed and get high than to pick up some information and read. Now, ginger, I just live by ginger. You should have tons of ginger in your home, and you should be consuming ginger every damn day. It has so many properties to help you with so many things. I did not know that it could help you with menstrual pains and heavy bleeding. I didn't know that. It's an anti-inflammatory herb that can inhibit heavy menstrual bleeding. That's amazing. And look at this part here. A 2015 study showed ginger significantly decreased menstrual blood loss in adolescent girls. So the information is here, but are the doctors going to come in there and pass this on from the parents to the adolescent girl? No, they're not, because you know what? They're not making money off of telling you about the natural remedy that's out here to help young ladies. Oh no. They're going to send you with some Advil, some Midol, or some other remedy crap, but they're not going to take you back to the source that's been here for centuries. Ginger's been growing on this planet before the planet was growing. Ginger's been here. And the last area that I'm very, very pleased to see is turmeric. I stand by turmeric and I stand by ginger. You've got to have some turmeric around the house, because let's see how it helps you first. It has the potential as an anti-inflammatory that can help reduce inflammation and balance hormones. But on top of that, if you have a breakout for whatever reason, X, Y, and Z, then you need turmeric. Turmeric will clear up a lot of these issues that cause you to flare up and have breakouts on your skin. And this turmeric, I tell you what, it is nothing but the truth. Now, outside of these things, I'm going to throw this out there because I am an advocate for these natural remedies. Beet juice. I'm going to tell you right now, beet juice, you only need a shot of beet juice every morning, but that will clear and clean your body out. And I've noticed recently I added 3 or 4 prunes right behind the beet juice, and I'm going to tell you now, it'll clean and cleanse your body. So put that on your list, beet juice. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Now we're going to do a show later on some of these same herbs that help you with cancer prevention. But I'm going to throw this out there real quick for you. If you ever get a chance, you want to do your research on soursop. Very powerful. Very powerful. You can't take it every day. But if you do your research on soursop and you take your soursop once every 2 days regularly, soursop looks for cancer cells and eliminates them. Doesn't make any sense that we have these things on the planet to assist us in these situations. Lord have mercy. All right, so moving on. So here we are, hysterectomy. You're talking about what you need to do to stop going into the damn doctor and getting everything pulled out of you because you got insurance. That's the problem with some of you people out here. You get this health insurance and you want to get a big booty. You want your gallbladder taken out. You need your hysterectomy. You don't want to bleed no more. You want to get this done, that done. You get all these things done, but you don't take a look at the consequences of these things that you're doing. All because you got health insurance. It's ridiculous. Let's keep it moving. If you got a doctor that's encouraging a hysterectomy, you need to find another damn doctor, because he is or she is not trying to help you in your best interest. Let's just put that out there. It is not your best interest to have a hysterectomy at damn 34 years old. Doesn't make any sense. Do not consider it unless it is an emergency. Now let's talk about this hysterectomy thing, okay? Misconception, doctors will come up in there and say, oh yeah, you get a hysterectomy Your life is going to be better. Your sex life is going to be better. Blah 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 blah. Okay, well the answer to this is no, it's not. And a simple reason is because if you know anything about the human body, which a lot of you people don't because you don't read, you'll realize through sexual contact, the vagina expands. How brilliant is God? No, this vagina isn't something just sits there by itself and does this all by itself. It's connected, all right? It's connected to a reproductive system that works as a unit. The vagina doesn't do this all by itself. So once you go in there and start chopping and cutting things out of a woman, certain things stop. And one thing that stops is the expansion of the vagina. It doesn't expand. And let's go into that real quick, because if that doesn't expand, okay, and you got a Donkey Kong for a husband or a significant other, there's going to be a problem there, because the experience before was no restrictions. But once you get a hysterectomy, there are restrictions that are not talked about. So let's take it straight from the information that's out there. It says, I think the question was, does the vagina expand after a hysterectomy? You would think that the vagina would be a free-flowing passageway once the process is done. Well, the answer is no, it is not. The vagina does not expand or get longer after a hysterectomy. In fact, studies show that vaginal length often decreases after a hysterectomy, which can lead to complications like dysphoria, if I pronounce that right, which is painful intercourse. Now, while the space in the abdomen where the uterus was located will be occupied by other organs, which nobody tells you that either, your intestines kind of move into the space where your reproductive organs were. The vagina itself is sutured, closed at the top to create a vaginal cuff. Closed. So let's just put that in perspective. This vagina is being shut down, being closed from the reproductive system. It has to be. The process provides an operation that separates that reproductive organ from the vagina. So once they do that, they're not done. They close up that area of the vagina, which doesn't get longer, it gets shorter. So now where are we at? Are we still running to the doctor to get our hysterectomy, to get chopped up and have a happy life? Let's look at this procedure. So the doctor has to create this. All right. So the doctor doesn't consider your significant other or husband in this process. You might have a husband that has a anaconda down there between his legs. Now, the anaconda's not going to be happy if this vaginal cuff creation is shorter in length than the normal the vagina that was there free-flowing with the reproductive system. Now, you don't sit down and have these conversations with the doctor, because the doctor is not going to go through all this, because if he told you the truth, you wouldn't get a hysterectomy. Are we making any sense here? So let's go into this process real simply So you'll understand here. Look, it's very simple. First, the doctor, uh, he has to close the internal incision at the top of the vagina after the uterus is removed. A surgeon will stitch the tissues together to create a vaginal cuff. This is something that's not naturally, normally there by God. What happens next? There is a reduced length. Studies have demonstrated that vaginal length can be reduced after a hysterectomy, and this shortening can vary depending on the type of hysterectomy performed. So if studies have shown this, why isn't the doctor telling you this during the initial interview? Because if he told you this, you wouldn't get the procedure, and he would make $6,000 to $11,000 by pulling out your reproductive system. And then potential complications. Shortening of the vagina can sometimes lead to a negative effect on sexual function, such as dysphoria, which is dryness. You know what? Knowledge is important. And if you did not have this knowledge and you're thinking, I'm going to use my health insurance to get rid of this bleeding, you don't know what is about to happen to you. You have no knowledge of what physical and mental, what is the word I'm looking for? Consequences that are going to derive from that procedure, the hysterectomy. You know, having concerns about your vaginal length after the procedure is a little too late. And your significant other is going to notice something has changed. But the answers aren't going to jump out right away because you have no knowledge of everything we just talked about. And you have to find out the hard way through mental anguish, rejection, changes in the procedure of lovemaking. You'll see these things happening, but you don't know what the explanation is behind these things. Well, I just mentioned it. I just told you prior to the procedure what to expect. Doctors are not going to tell you this, because if doctors tell you this, you're not going to get the procedure. Why would you want to make things uncomfortable for your significant other? Why would you want to make things uncomfortable for you, physically and mentally, if you didn't need to do it? See, God has a procedure in place called menopause that gradually puts you into this place. And as you gradually go into menopause, you have what is called hot flashes. But it's part of the procedure to get you through the menopause, the change, where your body's reproductive system is basically shutting down. And this can start in your 40s, move into your 50s and beyond. But to go and get a hysterectomy at 33 years old and thrust your well-being into this realm of menopause is ludicrous. You're mentally not ready to handle what's to come. It is a lot to deal with, and if you don't have the knowledge to deal with it, it can destroy you. It can destroy your relationship with not just your significant other, but with your family, because people don't understand what you're going through and why you're going through it. A lot of times we don't tell people about this hysterectomy we're about to have. It's our own personal choice, and we're not telling the whole world about it. With that being said, because the whole world doesn't know what's going on with you, you have a different attitude. You're changing physically. You don't have that womanish body figure like you had before. Remember, these areas, when you get a full hysterectomy, your organs are moving into those spaces where your reproductive organs were. Now let's take a look at some last areas of this hysterectomy area, because I thought I saw something else that was very important about the hysterectomy. Let's take a look. All right, so let's move forward here. A lot of people think that the cervix allows the let's get into the terminology, the penis to move forward into the body, and it does not. The cervix is a barrier. It's a barrier. And if a child needs to come on the planet, it goes through that cervix. So remember, the normal human body with a normal reproductive system, the vagina expands during intimacy. It doesn't go past the cervix. So everybody that's coming in here with these ideas and don't even read should be ashamed of themselves if you don't know this information. You've got to be aware of the information, and then you got to be able to apply the information. See, some people read and don't know what the hell they read. Let's take a look at some of these areas here. Ovaries and cervix, sometimes those are removed if there's cancer risk. Makes sense. But the point is, a lot of times you can keep your ovaries and you keep your cervix. The main part I want you to understand is that the body is alive. The body is alive. And if the body is alive, it's communicating information to your brain. Are you with me? I haven't lost anybody, have I? With that being said, please remember that the uterus is alive. This is the part that is removed during the hysterectomy. And these professionals out here, supposedly, they know this. They know that this is the heart of a woman. This is the true heart of a woman. Not the beating heart, but the uterus. And you say, well, why is the uterus the beating heart of a woman? Because this is where birth takes place. This part of the body is alive. It communicates with your brain. And when it's in place, it's a beautiful communication. Look at a woman when she's 19, 20, 18, growing up, flourishing. When the system works perfectly, you can find yourself in the presence of a perfect woman. But when this uterus fails to work or it is removed, that heartbeat is taken away, that communication is disconnected, and the perfection that could or should be there may not be there any longer. These doctors know this. And when it comes to black women, these doctors are aware that this is a key part that they want to, what is the word? They want to, what's the word I'm looking for here? I want to just say these doctors have agendas. And they know that there's certain areas when you start communicating with them that they can take advantage of financially. You talk about bleeding, you talk about issues, they start to bring up fibroids. They start to say, yes, I see fibroids. I see this. Yes, I see. Yes, we need to make things better for you. Yes. For them to recommend a hysterectomy, that should be your red flag that this is not the doctor for me. For you to recommend hysterectomy, that means that you either have no knowledge or you are in an emergency situation. You have knowledge. But 9 times out of 10, some people don't have the knowledge and they just think that something as simple as a hysterectomy will make my life better. And that is not true. That is not true. Now, because people don't have the damn knowledge, and this information is available for you on the internet. I'm getting my information from Women's Health. Hysterectomies are the second most common surgery among women in the United States and are also one of the most controversial. Second most common surgery. Is it because we're all knowledgeable? No, it's because we're not knowledgeable of what we're dealing with. But people look at this as a quick way to resolve an issue. Let's take a look at this information here. A young girl star, an actress, made the headlines for choosing to have a hysterectomy at the age of 31. If you're 31 having a hysterectomy, that means either you have the access to the health care and you just don't know, or you done lost your damn mind. And on top of that, there are tales of doctors forcing patients into the procedure without any medical reason. Now, I'm telling you now, they're looking at the financial gain because they're not intimate with these patients. They could care less once the patient has the operation as to what happens next because they're looking for the next patient to get that easy $6,000 to $11,000 in 60 minutes or less. Now, you go over here and you do your homework, you'll see there are doctors that have been convicted. Convicted. You know what convicted means? It means the person went in front of a judge, jury, and was found guilty. This doctor was convicted. He performed hysterectomies at his discretion for insurance fees. Sometimes come to the light. Insurance fees. Let me tell you something. If the doctor you're dealing with doesn't have any integrity, you're going to get whatever he can provide you that's going to provide him with income. This man is out there giving hysterectomies to people that do not need them to get his percentage of the cut. Now, it is 2025. Do you think doctors have just turned a new leaf and they're all now honest and fair people? I believe the answer is no. So, with that being said, 31 years old is too young for a hysterectomy. And if a doctor brings it up before you bring it up, you need to get a new doctor because this doctor has financial gain in his midst. Financial gain. Now, I'm going to read this one more time if you didn't hear what I said and enforced earlier before in this damn show. A Virginia doctor, OBGYN, was convicted after he performed hysterectomies at his discretion for insurance fees. That's it. That's one of the thousands of doctors that are out there. And remember, there's thousands of doctors out there that haven't got caught yet, that are doing this procedure for the money. I'll repeat that last part one more time for you. They're doing this procedure for the money. Now, I want to take it a step further, because on this damn talk radio show, when I do this talk radio show, I put the truth out there. As far as I'm concerned, there's another agenda on top of that. Yeah, these doctors are making money. But if the doctor could choose between a white woman and a black woman, which woman do you think a white doctor would rather do the hysterectomy on? Let's see if there's any information out there that helps us make our point. If we go back to the 70s, 60s, 50s, and 40s, we'll see that in Mississippi, they have what was called the Mississippi appendectomy. Big word, but let's break it down. It simply refers to the medically unnecessary hysterectomies and sterilizations performed on impoverished black women and other women of color in the South during the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Now, if you think that, okay, everything's all fine, these people no longer do this, you done lost your damn mind. People are being more discreet and taking advantage of the fact that you have no knowledge of what you're dealing with to take advantage of the opportunity. It was a widespread practice in the South, of course. We're dealing with the South. As you can see, the Mississippi appendectomy wasn't being done to white women. So some group or some force of people decided it needed to be done to black women. And who's to say that these people haven't moved on and ventured on into the 2010 and 2020 eras, but being more discreet about it? You know, if you were a doctor back in the 80s that was around during the 70s, you could still be doing practice today. We can't be naive to believe that this mentality just disappeared off the planet. We can't believe that. So I'm a firm believer that if you don't have the knowledge, the doctor in front of you is not going to have the integrity to give you these pieces of information I gave you today to help you decide to fix your situation without an operation. That's $6,000 to $11,000 damn dollars is just looking too good to that doctor. Now, let's take a look at the truth. Black women are 2 to 4 times more likely to have hysterectomies than white women. That's a lot. And we're looking and blaming everything on fibroids, but the bottom line is we can't eat what you eat, white people. You eat certain things, we can't eat that. All your processed foods, we can't eat that. We have to eat from Mother Earth. We have to eat things that don't have chemicals in them and hormones. See, this affects us because our well-being, our physical bodies are unique. And people are looking at me going, what the hell are you talking about? How is a black person more unique than a white person? Well, first of all, look at the damn melanin in my skin. If that don't make me unique, then we need to go ahead and shut this damn show down and just forget about having a communication. I am so tired of the simple resolution in our face, and we refuse to move towards the answer to our problems. You change your diet, you'll see that your body will respond to that. You have to do things first to try to resolve the problem that you may be creating the problem with in the first place. Eating processed lasagna, processed burgers, processed food, drinking all this stuff with sugar in it. The list goes on and on and on. And then you wonder why you're sitting there bleeding like a dam, just a river flowing. It's because your body is trying to not only cleanse itself, but get rid of all the toxins in your body. The only way it knows how. It'll wait. You keep eating all that crap, but as soon as the body gets a chance, because you're not taking the herbs that clean those toxins, it's going to cleanse them through your period. Yeah, Pop-Tarts are not good for us people. They sit on the shelf and they smile at us as we walk past them, but you know what? I continue walking past the Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts are not good for us. We weren't designed to eat Pop-Tarts. You know, the herbs I mentioned earlier are to help you through the pain that you're having with your hysterectomy. Our parents out here have to be knowledgeable of these herbs to be able to provide them for us prior to the menstrual cycle, during the menstrual cycle, and after the menstrual cycle to help us alleviate the cycle to a certain extent to where it's not so painful, there's not that much bleeding. And if you have parents that don't care, you've got to seek the knowledge. Even at 13, 14 years old, you've got to get knowledge about what's going on in your body. And some people are so tied up in the Roblox, some damn game they got, and playing their video games, and being on TikTok, doing dances. You ain't got time to get the knowledge you need about your body to help you through these new modern times in your life. I know of a young lady sits there and she balls into a circle and cries and cries and cries, and the parents don't do anything to help her. And you as a parent throwing a leaf or some the hot water bottle on her head is not helping her. This is not helping her. I tell you what, I'm glad we have this show completed today because, number one, if you don't have the knowledge, you can actually be a zombie on the planet walking around going through X, Y, and Z. and dealing with the repercussions of your lack of knowledge. It is important to get knowledge so you'll understand what options you have on this planet. And when you look around on the planet and see God has provided all of the options we need for every scenario you can think of, why are you running to a doctor to get a hysterectomy? We get this thing called health insurance and we lose our minds. We at the doctor every week, every 2 weeks, getting a prescription, getting on our medications. Oh, I need a refill for my medication. This is all I hear from somebody. Oh, I need another refill for my medication. I need my medication. You're hooked on them damn medications. And who's getting rich behind the medications? The doctors. Who's getting $6,000 to $11,000 per hysterectomy? The doctors. How long does it take for the process? 60 minutes or less. So he's making $6,000 to $11,000 in 60 minutes. When are we going to get hip? And in some doctors' minds, not only did they make $6,000 to $11,000, but I now have one less black women to bear children on the planet. If you could hear your doctor thinking like that, would you still get a hysterectomy? Would you still get a hysterectomy if you heard your doctor say that? Out loud in his brain, talking out loud. No, he's just going to sit there and smile at you and say, well, we've got you set up for your procedure next week. We need you to be here by 8 a.m. Your ass go in there and they throw you in there and roll you away, and you'll never be the same when you come back. You will never be the same. And I see my lines over here lighting up, people calling in, but you know what? I don't want to hear nothing y'all have to say. I don't want to hear any hysterectomy horror stories. You went out and got a hysterectomy without getting the knowledge. Shame on you. So all the pain and turmoil you to put on yourself and your family members around you, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear about it. But for those of y'all out here that haven't had a hysterectomy, you better damn listen, and you better listen good. You get a connection with the high power in the sky. You get the knowledge you need for everything on this planet, not just your body. Get the knowledge you need for your health, for your wealth. And when you gather these pieces of information, then you make decisions. Do not make decisions without the information. Do not make decisions without the information first. Because if you knew what was going to happen after you got a hysterectomy, you probably would not have gotten one. And let's thank that doctor in Virginia who was just giving them nilly-willy to anybody he felt needed one. We appreciate you for being a go-getter, sir, and getting everybody out here hysterectomies that didn't need them. You know, a person like that should get life in prison because you done took 10 to 20 women out of the option to have children based on the decision you decided to make. And I'm going to be honest with you. You didn't make this decision on your own. There's an underlying group of doctors out there that have this knowledge and share it with each other, and they're all in on it. They're in on the wealth, and they're in on the process. Yes, many processes you can do in a hospital, but I tell you what, if you need to go on a trip to the Cape Coast Islands, will do 3 or 4 hysterectomies a month for 3 months in a row, and you got your money. And then some. These doctors, if they didn't get benefits from these procedures, would they do them? Would they put the time in it to do these procedures? There's no benefit if there's no wealth behind it, correct? I don't see them going around making these stats 2 to 4 times. Black women are 2 to 4 times more likely to have hysterectomies than white women. Who's approaching all these black women and saying they need hysterectomies? They're not running up to the doctor like they run up to the damn cookout to get them a burger, fries, and a milkshake. They ain't running up. Can I get a hysterectomy on top of that burger and fries? Come on. These doctors are providing the option first. Oh, you're bleeding? Oh, you fibroids. Oh, I see fibroids. How's your menstrual cycle? Heavy bleeding? You have any pain? Oh, you do have pain? Okay. Let's see what we can do to help you out. Oh, we got an invasive procedure. It only takes about 60 minutes. Hysterectomy. Well, but it'll make your life much better. You won't have to worry about the bleeding anymore. Sexual activity would be so much enjoyable without the heavy bleeding. Blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. And if you don't have the knowledge, you're going to say, sure, set me up for a hysterectomy. And your life will forever be changed. Now, let me go back and look at this actress that was 31 that got a hysterectomy. Let me see what this actress is doing today. Give me a second. All right, so when I look at this actress, Lord have mercy. This happened in 2016 when she was 31, when she decided to get this hysterectomy. But what was missing from the information I had earlier was her hysterectomy was due to a lot of complications in her reproductive system. A lot of complications. Now this brings us back to that emergency situation. If you got an emergency situation going on in your life, then hysterectomy conversation is fine. This lady had bleeding in her stomach, and hysterectomy would eliminate that. She had other situations going on too, but when I look at the entire paragraph, this lady had a lot going on at 31 years old. So the hysterectomy conversation makes sense. But if you just have a bleeding and fibroids and you want to run in there and get you a hysterectomy, you lost your damn mind. And if a doctor offers it to you first, you need to find another damn doctor. So as I look at this paragraph, because this was 2016 when she was getting this hysterectomy, it's almost 2026, which would be 10 years later. Let's take a look at this information here, because this is important when you take a look at the hysterectomy. Let me read this for you. Let's see here. Where did I see the information at? It's been a few months now. Despite some small complications, I am healing like a champ. Of course, this is the initial time after. I have a limp, the result of a pinched nerve in my pelvis. But I rock it like a champ with some boots to make it look cool. Now, mind you, she didn't have a limp before the procedure. Now she's got a damn limp. Don't make no damn sense. But these doctors do. And the doctor should be held responsible for pinching her nerve in the procedure. It's called malpractice, people. It says she had to work hard. At this point, this choice she made was clear. And you can see here that there's some mental challenges going on. Which you have to remember, once you do this procedure, it throws you into menopause. Something they can't prepare you for. You close your eyes and anesthesia, you wake up and your mind is twisted. Your short-term memory is gone and your long-term memory is somewhat intact. Ridiculous. But there you have it. Information is out there. You take advantage of the information or you don't take advantage of it. But do not let these people entice you into this procedure, because if you are not getting it for emergency reasons, you're probably getting it improperly. There's other methods out here to help resolve your issues. ZZ109FM, hottest radio station on the planet. We provide this information for you so you will be able to have knowledge and make a good choice in the future. You guys have a good day and thanks for listening.